welcome to today's session. In the last class, we have studied about Bohr's atomic model. What are the salient features of the Bohr's atomic model? Atom has definite paths which are known as orbits, and these orbits have fixed energies which are designated as E1, E2, E3, E4, and this energy is quantized. So when is the energy emitted out, or when is the energy absorbed by the electrons? Suppose if electron jumps from lower state to higher state, energy is absorbed. On the other hand, when the electron falls from higher state to lower state, energy is given out or emitted out. And when the energy is lost, it is lost in the form of a line, which we call it as line spectrum. So this is what we have already learned in the previous class. Then what are the limitations of Bohr's atomic model? Bohr could not explain the structure of atoms having more than one electron. That is the first limitation. He could only explain the line spectrum of hydrogen and He plus, helium plus, which are having only one electron. So he could not explain about the atoms having more than one electron. So this is one limitation. So there is another limitation of Bohr's model. So that is when the line spectrum, when it is observed under high resolution spectroscope, further it appears as fine lines. Further, it appears as fine lines, which is called fine line spectrum. So why is this line is again splitting into fine lines? Bohr could not explain. So to explain fine line spectrum, Sommerfeld proposed another atomic model, which is known as Bohr-Sommerfeld atomic model. So here Sommerfeld, he retained all four, here we can see the shells. He retained the four shells, or the main shells of the Bohr. You can see K, L, M, N. So he retained Bohr's orbits. For the first shell, he did not add any elliptical orbit, but to the other shells, he had added elliptical orbits. So for the K shell, one elliptical orbit is added. For M shell, two elliptical orbits are added, and for the N shell, three elliptical orbits, and so on. So I'll just give you one example. Now for example, you look at this keychain, I am rotating it. So what is happening? With the central force, what is the central force here? My finger is the central force. So from this focus, the keychain is rotating with a force. Similarly, nucleus of an atom is the central focus which influences the production of these elliptical orbits, where there is possibility of finding the electrons. So this is the reason why the line spectrum, it splits into fine lines. So though he could account for the atomic spectra, he could not explain the structure of higher elements having more than one electron. So his structure, it was not satisfactory. So the next model, now today we will be learning about quantum mechanical model. Quantum mechanical model. So this model, it is proposed by Erwin Schrödinger. So this model is a modification of Bohr's model. So he retained most of the postulates of the Bohr and modified a few salient features of the atom. So according to Bohr, what did we see? The electrons are moving in the definite paths Therefore, there is a definite boundary for an atom. So he just raised the doubt, do they really have definite paths? Do the electrons have the definite paths? And is there a definite boundary for the atom? So he worked on these aspects and he has proposed some more features. So let us look at it. Now, is it possible to find out the velocity of an electron and exactly what is the position of the electron? If you have to find out, what we have to do? So, electrons are very small. They are not visible to the naked eye. So, how do we how do we pinpoint the electron in the atom? Now, for example, you want to search something in the dark night. So, what do you do? What do you use? We will use torchlight to search something which is not to be seen or lost. Similarly, here to find out the position of the electron in an atom, we have to use the light. We have to use light, but with very short wavelength. Because the electron is very tiny, we need to use the light with short wavelength. So when we are using the light with short wavelength, it definitely gets disturbed. The electron gets disturbed. So can you simultaneously find out both position and velocity? No. Because when you are focusing this light on the electron, the path of the electron is getting disturbed. So we cannot find out the position and velocity accurately. So it is a bit difficult. So what do we understand by this explanation? The electrons will not have definite paths and there is no definite boundary as proposed by the Bohr's model. So according to Schrödinger, instead of orbits, he proposed the presence of orbitals. Now for example, so this is the nucleus, let us assume. So the region or space nearer to the nucleus or away from the nucleus, where the probability of finding the electron is high, this region is known as orbital. The region or space around the nucleus where the possibility of finding the electron is maximum, that is known as orbital. So there is a difference between orbits and orbitals. What is an orbit? The definite path of an electron is known as orbit. It is circular. Whereas what is an orbital? It is a small region or space around the nucleus where the probability of finding the electron is maximum. In other words, I can say orbital is the home of electron. So, where all electrons are present. I hope it is clear to you all what is the difference between orbit and the orbital. Now, the electrons present inside the orbital, they are described by a set of quantum numbers about which we will be learning in the next class.